When you hit life's low point, your brain might kick into defense mode, trying to shield you from anxiety or that sinking feelings of helplessness. So, which defense mechanism do you lean into? Is it a primitive one, like denial, rationalization, projection, or maybe regression? Or do you go for a mature one, like sublimation or humor? The Stoic of ancient Rome taught us something powerful. Events are neutral. It's our interpretation that shapes how much pain we feel. Marcus Aurelius had a brilliant take on this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Sure, a low point might strip away external things, jobs, relationships, wealth, but here's a flip side. It can also spark something profound, a rebuilding of your internal framework. Think about it. Stronger psychological resilience, clear values, a sharper sense of direction. So, could it be the low point actually a win? In this video, we will explore 3 psychological and philosophical models plus 2 practical tools. They might just shift your entire perspective on low points. A low point is just a temporary dip, a relative low. It might show up as low motivation, reduced efficiency, strained relationships, or limited resources. The Oxford Dictionary defines a low point as the least interesting, least pleasant, or worst part of something. But maybe that's just us buying into a negative stereotype. Let's try a neutral perspective. A low point isn't an end point, not a failure, not a turning point. It's just the neutral ups and downs of life. Picture this. Someone in his early 30s, grinding through years of entrepreneurship. No breakthrough. It's not just financial loss, it's an identity crisis. The unique fears of an entrepreneur, they press in. Through e-commerce platforms, suppliers, employees, and even close relationships. He can't see a clear way out. He starts questioning his worth, his abilities, his direction. He might wonder, have I missed society's so-called window of opportunities? Seeing peers settle down, starting families, raising newborns, hitting financial freedom, while he feels stuck in place. Now, add a breakup to the mix. Career setbacks coupled with emotional struggles, plunging him into helplessness. The low point deepens. Loneliness amplifies. It feels like he's on the outside looking in. The odds of meeting someone who truly gets him, slim at best. Scrolling through his peers' highlight reels, he can't help but compare. Even knowing it's irrational, he feels a pound of shameful envy. This mental roller coaster often boils down to 4 labels: identity crisis, loneliness, helplessness, self-doubt. Let me tell you something. These feelings are seen, they are real, they are valid. You don't need to suppress or judge yourself for feeling them. Start by acknowledging, yes, I'm in pain. Your doubts about your worth or abilities, they likely stem from deeper expectation around success, independence, and validation. Low points tend to trigger primitive defense mechanisms like avoiding, suppression, or projecting stress onto others. This defense shapes how you feel and how you act. For example, feeling lonely, you might push away friends' support. Afraid of failure, it might lead you to blame others. These patterns aren't random, they are tied to your early experience, your family dynamics, your core beliefs. If you grew up hearing, only success makes you lovable, failure can hit harder. It just feels self-blame. The key? Understand your defense patterns, Don't just beat yourself up over them. They are not entirely your fault. Your low point has roots. It's worth exploring with compassion and integrating what you learn. The setbacks are real, the pain is real, but a low point offers a chance to observe your emotions, understand your coping mechanism, and uncover inner resources you might overlook. Low points and chronic stress, they are deeply intertwined. A low point might be a mix of setbacks, like career stagnation, broken relationships, or financial strain. It breeds despair, feels like life has no meaning. If you only see the negatives, you're more likely to spiral into chronic stress, a state where every challenge feels bigger than you can handle. It keeps your body in fight or flight mode. High cortisol levels mess with your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational decisions and emotional regulation. This can lead to cognitive biases where small problems feel like massive obstacles. It weakens resilience, trapping you in a cycle that's hard to escape. Health impacts: insomnia, anxiety, weakened immunity, in severe cases, depression, even cardiovascular issues. But here's the good news. Psychological resilience and social support can actually help buffer the stress. Whenever your body is sending signals, it's time to rethinking your low points. Pause, adjust your mindset and coping strategy. Why am I so passionate about this topic? Because I genuinely believe low points aren't as bad as they seem. Everyone's experience is unique, but I want to show you another possibility, a choice you can make. Here's how I approach it: blending rational and emotional strategies. Rationally, I recognize myself as a chronic stress carrier, so I consciously treat my daily routine, regular sleep, stretching, mindful eating. Journaling, it's been my habit for over a decade. Writing helps me process emotions and make sense of my thoughts. Beyond work, I read and do micro writing to capture insights. When I come across profound words from neuroscience or psychology that explain my weird or dark emotions in a neutral way, I feel normalized. The intensity fades. I reflect deeply on my entrepreneurial journey, on its strengths, on its weakness. Those lessons, paid for with time and money, are now tools to avoid future mistakes. Emotionally, I allow myself to fully feel everything, whether it's a career setbacks, financial stress, guilt toward my parents, or the heartbreak of a breakup. I embrace it all. I name my emotions, let them settle and clarify. After a relationship ends, I walk myself through the full grieving process. There is a wise saying: grief is the opposite of depression. When we grieve a loss, the world gains meaning through it. When we sink into depression, our sense of self fades and the world dims. Fully grieving is critical to healing. I lean into my growing sense of life purpose, gradually redefining my direction. I break big goals into small, actionable steps, restoring momentum, building strength through action. I know I'm never truly standing still. Even if it looks that way on outside, my mind has already traveled 1,000 miles. I'm surprised to find that low points actually sharpen my vision. They reveal truths I miss in smoother times, my blind spots and arrogance. They fill out what's unimportant, sharpening focus on what truly matters. Every painful step forward, it feels more real, grounded, profound. A low point pushed me to finally start creating content, something I talked about for over a year but never act on. It wasn't instant. The setbacks, the heartbreak, they made a low period inevitable, but through it, I rebuilt my cognitive framework, restored a sense of direction, and got moving again. To me, a low point isn't the end, it's a process, exploring, understanding myself, integrating experience, starting anew. Low points are normal, they are cyclical, and they can be managed, becoming part of the life story. So that's my framework. Now let's dive into some practical ways that might inspire you. Let's break down the key psychological factors that shape how we handle low points: defense mechanism, resilience, and protective factors. Defense mechanism, they're neutral, not inherently good or bad. They are just tools. They're your psyche's way of protecting itself when stress, anxiety, or threats arise. They kick in as coping strategies to ease the pain. They fall into two categories: primitive defenses, simple and direct, like denial, projection, splitting, avoidance. Those offer quick relief but can cause interpersonal or emotional issues long term. Mature defenses, more adaptive, like sublimation, humor, rationalization, suppression, and compensation. They let you feel your emotions without being consumed by them. They tend to align better with social norms. But over-rationalizing, it can disconnect you from authentic emotions. Psychological health isn't about eliminating primitive defenses, it's about flexibly switching based on context. Moving from primitive to mature defenses require ongoing self-awareness, emotional management, reconciliation of inner conflicts, and real-world practice. This shift lays the foundation for resilience. Check out the guide on the transitioning to mature defenses below the video to learn more. Download it if you like. Resilience is your psychological toughness, your ability to adapt, recover, and even grow through stress, adversity, trauma, or challenge. Protective factors, they are the resources that boost resilience, reduce negative impacts, and aid recovery. How it all connects. Defense mechanism shapes the way you deal with stress and conflict. The more mature they are, the stronger your resilience. And resilience, in turn, helps you build even more mature defenses. This creates a cycle that helps you handle low points more effectively. Here's a quick visual to tie it together. Defense mechanism, how you handle stress or conflict. Mature defenses build resilience. Resilience, the foundation for recovery, strengthened by protective factors like social support, self-efficacy, and sense of purpose. Resilience turns low points into growth opportunities, effective coping, recovery, learning, or even post-traumatic growth we call PTG. Resilience isn't innate, it stems from three protective factors: social support, self-efficacy, and sense of purpose. Social support. Having people who offer unconditional acceptance, no question asked. For me, my parents have been my rock. They embrace all my emotions, even when I'm wrestling with dark thoughts without judgment. They soothe me first, then talk things through rationally once I'm grounded. I hope every parent or anyone planning to be one can offer their children this kind of safe harbor, a place where they feel, even if I have nothing left, I will always have a refuge where I'm fully accepted. Every child deserves parents like that. This kind of support is a lifeline. Sometimes it can be life-saving. Self-efficacy, believing you can handle challenges. Lazarus' stress appraisal model explains it. Stress isn't caused by events, it's how you evaluate them and your perceived ability to cope. Primary appraisal, when something happens, you ask, what does this mean to me? Is it irrelevant, beneficial, a threat, or challenge? Secondary appraisal, If it's a threat or challenge, you ask, do I have the resources, ability, or strategy to handle it? The outcome, if it's irrelevant or beneficial, no stress. If it's a threat or you feel under-resourced, stress arises. But if you believe, I can handle this, stress can turn into motivation. Sense of purpose, low points force you to ask, what am I here for? Finding purpose or value in hardship fuels resilience. So instead of labeling things as helpless too soon, focus on checking what resources you actually have and using them wisely. Want to assess your own coping resources? Check out the self-resource checklist below the video. Protective factors don't take the pain away. They keep you standing when it feels unbearable. With the right approach, low points become a training ground for your resilience muscles, potentially leading to post-traumatic growth and helping you discover deeper meaning and value. That's why they can be the best deals life ever gives you. I once sent my parents this chart titled Traits of Highly Resilient People with a caption, "Hey guys, no need to worry about me anymore, LOL." These are my anchors for navigating low points. In life, we all go through low points. They can be painful and confusion, making us doubt whether we can keep going. In healing the child within, there is a recovery growth chart. Although it's not specifically about low points, I found it deeply relevant. It illustrates the journey of healing from trauma and offers a useful lens for understanding low points. When we confront pain through expression, reflection, or sharing with others, and make use of available support and resources, a low point can transfer from a simple dip into a starting point for personal growth. Of course, this process isn't automatic. It requires time, effort, and strategies tailored to your cultural and personal context. Life isn't a straight line. It's a curve of ups and downs. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we climb, but through learning, integration, and healing, life's path tends to move upward. Low points often feel like a bad deal because we focus on what we've lost: money, relationship, pride, but we overlook their hidden benefits. There's training ground for psychological resilience. In smooth times, you might not actively build these skills, but in low points, you are forced to. That's a deal. Here is a quick recap of today's key points. Fully accept your pain and vulnerability without judgment. Negative coping fuels chronic stress, which harms your health. Defense mechanism, consciously cultivate mature ones. Stress arises from interpretation, not events. Lazarus model. Resilience protective factors, social support, self-efficacy, and sense of purpose. They drive recovery and growth. Take a moment to reflect. What protective factors have you used in past low points? Which one could you nurture further? By identifying and building these resources, you will be better equipped to face challenges. If you want a reflective exercise to explore this, check the description for a download. Comment below, was your low point worth it? Let's inspire each other by sharing new perspective. Coming up, this is a part 1 of a 3-part series on low points. Next up, living with brave, then practical tactics. Stay tuned if you are loving this. When we confront pain through expression, life's path tends to move upward. Life's path tends to move upward.